Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 39 of the TEW series. Now, tonight's show, you can tell by the title, someone is calling RDJ out. Basically, someone's calling him a washed-up old loser, and unfortunately, he will be taking part in the main event against that person tonight in a tag team match. But anyway, let's run the show here. Start the show off with a 64C. We got a decent pre-show match. The Dynamite Express defeating the Elite in 10:25 when Cameron Jones defeated Nate Johnson by pinfall with a Fisherman's Suplex. Nothing much else to really say about that. Just a little win there for the Dynamite Express over the wily veterans in the Elite. We then go into a 73B-. Of course, the New Wave are looking for recruits at the moment. To possibly join their new stable. They're teaming with Honolulu Hellraisers, and they're taking on some interesting heels that we don't really use. So yeah, the New Wave and Honolulu Hellraisers defeated Hugh Ancree, Jeremy Courtney, and the Latino Kings in 9:57, when High Flying Hawaiian defeated Hugh Ancree by pinfall with a Pacific Crush. High Flying Hawaiian and Hector Galindo were both off their games. And apparently Scout shone in this match. What was his in-ring? It was only an 83. Not the greatest. But yeah, both members of the New Wave improving in performance skills yet again. Both Scout and Guide. Pretty good. Good stuff. We then go into the final pre-show match, getting an 81B. In an exceptional pre-show match, Aaron Andrews defeated Human Arsenal in 9:31 by pinfall with a flying body press. And apparently there was a lack of psychology on display for a 10-minute match, which is pretty weird, considering that they're both actually pretty good wrestlers. I'm pretty sure Andrews has like an 80B for psychology, so a little bit odd. A little bit. Anyway, we start the show off with Aaron Andrews, and of course his stable members, Stronghold stable members. They get a 93A rated angle to open the show. And Aaron Andrews says the Stronghold are going to hold all the titles after Hotter Than Hell. Unfortunately, I couldn't fit that in there. But yeah, he basically comes out, of course, New Legacy, already tag team champs, and he will take part in the main event at Hotter Than Hell for the world title. So, again, a chance for him to reclaim his title that he previously did hold. Yeah, pretty good promo. Pretty happy with that. We then go into a 74B- rated match. Of course, New Legacy with their tag team title open challenge. In a superb match, New Legacy defeated Benny Benson and Danny Fonzarelli in 10:22, when Greg Gage defeated Danny Fonzarelli by submission with a Proton Lock. And New Legacy make defense number 3 of their World Tag Team titles. Moving on to a 100A star. Here we have, excuse me, Reign of Terror. And Eddie Peak wants Killer Shark to live up to his name tonight and take out his opponent. Just a pretty simple promo. Of course, Killer Shark is meant to be a killer. And he's got a bit of a squash match up next, which doesn't do too well, getting a 48D+. In an extremely short match, Killer Shark defeated Ray Snow in 4 minutes and 4 seconds by pinfall with a big bite. 60 in-ring performance there from Killer Shark, which is, it's not too bad. I also want to see if I guess Ray Snow's really not a babyface. And apparently there were others playing his gimmick better. He was also penalised for booking decisions, which is weird. Because I wanted it to be a squash match. Okay. Maybe the decisive finish. I don't know. Anyway, we go straight into another match here. 83B+, which is pretty incredible for a 10-minute match. In a bout that had great wrestling and good heat, Sammy Back defeated Kirk Jamison in 9 for 34 by pinfall with an adrenaline shot. During the match, we also had Brian Vesey run in and attack Back. Again, continuing their feud. We then go into a 71C+ rated angle, and we have the Rockers, and they're disgusted by the Canadian Animals. I've spelt Canadian wrong there. And their antics from last week, of course. Basically, they had a match together from last week in the last episode, and then, of course, the Canadian Animals pretty much did everything they could to help themselves not lose the match, which they did indeed not lose. So, yeah, not a bad promo, 71C+. They then go into that was the international title match in the last episode. And as you can see, we have a tag match booked here. 77B for this match. Actually pretty incredible. I probably should have put this on the pay-per-view. In a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, the Rockers defeated the Canadian Animals in 16-15 when Matt Hocking defeated Ed Stone by pinfall with a Hock shock. And then again, we got the excellent chemistry between Matt Hocking and Flying Jimmy Fox. Moving on to a 58C-, in a bout that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling, Bulldozer Brandon Smith defeated Elliot Thomas in 10-19 by pinfall with a tombstone piledriver. During the match, we also had Greg Gage accidentally hit Thomas. Yeah, Greg coming out to try and get involved, possibly cost Bulldozer the match, of course. At the moment, Reign of Terror and the Stronghold, they're sort of feuding, and obviously Reign of Terror, well, Killer Shark and Bulldozer Brandon Smith, they've been pretty involved with the tag team titles so far. And yeah. And unfortunately, Bulldozer Brandon Smith and Elliot Thomas just don't click, which is probably the reason behind the low rating there. Moving on to a 79B. And yeah, Mighty Mo comes out and says that he's really happy that a veteran like Brent Hill is willing to face him while he's on this, this type of hot streak, while he's got all the momentum behind him at the moment, of course. I mean, in storyline purposes, he was featured in the main event last week and got the victory as well. However, I mean, the main event did kind of tank anyway. But yeah, his match up next does pretty well. 80B for a 10-minute match. In a good match, Mighty Mo defeated Brent Hill in 9:51 by pinfall with a plunging spinebuster. 78 in-ring performance there for Mighty Mo. No work improvements there either. We then go into a 91A rated angle. Mark Speed is the man. And he thinks Ricky Dale Johnson is a washed-up old loser that cannot cut it in TCW anymore. And basically, he just goes on and says, like, a wily old veteran like you, essentially being sarcastic, calling him a wily old veteran, after he's just called him a washed-up loser. But, yeah, he says that, you don't really belong in a top-notch company anymore. You're too old, you're washed up, you should probably, drop down to maybe a regional company, a company similar to Mid-Atlantic Wrestling or New York City Wrestling or something like that, where he could become a road agent, spend the final couple of years of his career as a top talent. And yeah, Machspeeds says that he's the future of TCW, and, his day will come when he becomes a world champion. The main event up next does pretty well. I'm happy with that. 85B+. In an exceptional match, Wolf Hawkins and Mark Speed defeated Ricky Dale Johnson and Joshua Taylor in 2011, when Wolf Hawkins defeated Joshua Taylor by pinfall with a full moon rising. And then, as you'd expect, Hawkins head and shoulders above everybody else. And unfortunately, RDJ was the weak link. We also had Eddie Peak out there as well, of course, also involved heavily with the title, along with Aaron Andrews. So yeah, he was out there on commentary, and did a pretty weak job. Overall share rating getting us a 78B, which I think is pretty respectable. And honestly, I'm quite happy with that. Again, increasing our popularity in the 7 regions of Canada. And there we go. Another show done and dusted. I'm not really too sure if there's anything to show you guys. We'll have a look at the mail here. At the moment, we are going in for Des Davids. I'm not sure if I talked about that in the previous episode. But at the moment, I'm actually going quite hard. And at the moment, we are actually the front runners. As you can see, none of these offers are being seriously considered, which is interesting because US pros just shy of 25,000, and we're just sort of over. But I think at the moment, it looks like he might be coming to us. I just want to keep a really close eye on it because I really do want Des Davids, especially after, I think I did talk about it last episode. Yeah, after Mighty Mo sort of botched not botched, but he was not really up to the main event yet. And I think Des Davids could be that type of guy to step in to our main event scene, especially as a babyface, good star quality, of course, good menace, and I mean, pretty good wrestling ability as well. Like I said, he'd be pretty good, and I don't think it would take too long for him to actually get over either. So I really hope we do get him. Anyway, the TV rating getting a 7.48, which is again pretty good as well. We got Killer Shark here with an opinion, and he thinks that Akuma is a star in the making to make us some serious money in the future. I agree. That's why we signed him. So yeah, happy with that. I'm just going to keep, like I said, keep a close eye on Des Davids. I would really, really like to get him in. It is unfortunate. I feel like the women are kind of taking a little bit of a back seat at the moment because we do have all these different things going on. But I'll try and make sure they get on the next TV show. And yeah, Hotter Than Hell coming up. Do we actually have any matches pre-booked? I think we have a couple, don't we? Yeah, we got Sammy Back versus Brian Vesey. And then, of course, we have the main event, the triple threat match for the world title. Between 3 heels as well. Which is part of the problem at the moment. But yeah, that is going to wrap this episode up, guys. If you could drop a like, it'd be much appreciated. Subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. And as always, take it easy and goodbye.